Have you heard about the brand new Apple Watch Series 573? It taps right into your brain and turns you into a living meatloaf. Not really, that's not a thing. But in this video, I'm gonna tell you why I quit the Apple Watch right after this. Just as proof that I do own an Apple Watch, here's my, I believe it's a Series 3. I was so excited about this thing when it came out. And part of that is because of the marketing. Apple is so great at marketing. They make you feel like you've got to have it. And I really felt like I had to have it. And when I got it, I was excited about it for a while. It was a really cool gadget. I mean, it still is, especially the Ultra and the new ones that are coming out. I mean, they really are neat gadgets, and they're the stuff of sci-fi. I mean, right? We grew up watching shows where, you know, Captain Picard would just tap the thing on his deal, and it was the communicator. Well, that is basically what a watch can do now. So it's an amazing piece of gear. And I was really excited about it, but I did stop using it, and I stopped using it intentionally at some point. In fact, you can see now I do have a watch, but it is not a smartwatch. It is the same watch that me and my computer savvy friend had when we were 13. It's a Timex Ironman. I had a friend the other day glance at my wrist and he said, "You're the only person I know that still uses an old school watch." And so for me, I used a smartwatch and then I went back to this. Now, the main reason really is battery life. So if there was a smartwatch that could just run indefinitely like these old style digital watches can, I probably would go back to it. So what happens is the battery life, for mine, I could get about 3 days out of it with that Apple Series 3, and then I have to put it on the charger. The watch had great memory. It has good storage or whatever, but my memory is bad, so in the morning I forget to put the watch on. Then I get halfway through the day and I'm looking at my wrist and I don't have it. So the battery life really is what did it for me. But there was another aspect that I found annoying. The other aspect that I found annoying and really, kind of found it to make my life a little bit more difficult is the notifications. Okay, so you're getting notifications on your phone pretty often. In fact, right now at this moment, my phone's supposed to be off, but I just got a notification on my phone. So as if my phone in my pocket is not close enough to my face, it then became notifications on my wrist, and I could glance at them at a moment's notice. Now, there are notifications that I want, like if a loved one or family member is trying to contact me, I want that notification, right? If there's something from my calendar, I want that notification. But basically anything else, I want to deal with it when I choose to deal with it. So I've opted out of all notifications almost, except for those basic things, and then I allow notifications to go to my email. So when I did that, my life really simplified, and I would highly encourage you to think about the amount of notifications that you're getting. I know people, loved ones even, that are getting so many notifications constantly, and it's just a constant draw to look at their phone. And so I want to give you a quick rule for notifications and to help you think through why you allow so many notifications for so many news feeds or social media stuff in your life. There are decent reasons to have notifications, and there are some bad reasons. The main bad reason in my mind for doing lots of notifications is what I call running from the darkness. And what I mean by that is, if you're afraid of a quiet, introspective moment, if you resist that and you use notifications to ensure that you never have a quiet, introspective moment where you think about your own spiritual life, then that's not a good reason to have constant notifications. And I would encourage you to turn off your notifications at least for a while so that you can have those introspective moments. I'm a Christian man trying to live a Christian life, and I need those moments. I need quiet moments where I can think about how I've performed, where I can think about how my life is going and whether or not I'm living up to the expectations that Christ has on my life. I read an article recently that when you have a quiet moment, your subconscious brings up past experiences so that you can analyze them. You need those moments. And if notifications are blocking you from having those moments, then you need to get them out of your life. So that doesn't mean you have to get rid of your smartwatch, but it does mean you need to make some digital choices with your devices to allow you to have some quiet and some peace and some stillness. But the second reason that is a bad reason to have so many notifications, it is if you are trying to avoid or evade some responsibility. I feel like I see this all the time. It is hard raising young kids. It is really hard. This morning I woke up and I decided my middle son needed my attention, so I left my phone, my watch, everything by the bed, and I spent an hour basically interacting with him before school, and that was actually really valuable. Usually what I do is I get up, I look at my phone first, and I allow that wash of notifications and things that are going to, take my time later once my work hours have started. I usually let that take over in the morning, and I today felt like he needs my attention. His mood, his attitude, he's a quality time person, and I need to give him some quality time, and it was great. I'm so glad I did that. So that brings me back to the Apple Watch. We need to be thinking about the kind of distractions, the kind of notifications that we have. And if your watch or your phone are causing you trouble, you need to make some digital decisions to adjust that. Now, all of this reminds me of a story that shows up in the Bible. Now, in Bible time, they didn't have devices, but they did have distractions. And there's this great little story that we often think about on this subject. It's a story with Martha and Mary. And so what's going on is Jesus has come to the house where Martha and Mary live. And of course, it's Jesus, and he always has an entourage with him, right? And so he comes. It's a really important time. It's important that they get it right. This is a big moment for the household. And so Martha is rushing around doing all the important tasks, right? She's so busy. Her sister Mary, who Martha thinks should be helping her, is sitting at Jesus' feet and just listening to him teach. Now, you can see the opinion of both women in this story. The opinion of Martha is that these are important tasks. They need to be done. We need to be diligent. We need to be hardworking. We need to do them. But then you can also see the mentality of Mary here, who is realizing that none of that matters. I need to sit at Jesus' feet because this is an important moment. So notice how this story goes. This is in Luke 10, verse 40 and 42. Martha was distracted by all the preparations that had to be made. So that's an important word. She was distracted. So she was distracted from what? She's distracted from what Jesus was doing, which was being in her house and teaching. Notice what it says. And the Lord answered, "You are worried and upset about many things, but few things are needed, or indeed only one. Mary has chosen what is better, and it will not be taken from her." I love that because he says, we need to be thinking about priorities here. The Son of Man was not going to be on earth much longer, and Mary had chosen the better thing, and Jesus wasn't about to go tell her to do housework while the Son of Man was sitting in her house teaching. And so he's basically encouraging both of these women to think about priorities. And I want to encourage us to do the same thing. We need to be thinking about the distractions that draw us away from those very important interactions with our family members, or even draw us away from introspective moments where we need to be thinking about our spiritual life. So I would encourage you to think about that today. That might mean that you keep your watch, but you change the way the notifications work. That's up to you. You're a responsible person, but I encourage you to think about it. Thanks for watching. See you later.